Well, hello there.
Well, hello.
And welcome to 32 Tuesday for Tuesday, July the 28th.
You just veered so wildly from our norm.
I did.
You startled me.
Yeah, I'm looking for something different.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I won't get in your way.
I get bored with the normal.
Please continue.
Oh, no, it's all good. It is Tuesday, and it is 3 Tuesday, and it is Tuesday, July the 28th. I am your mouthy host, Bonaparte, and with me is your hostess, Yulia.
Hello.
So do you know what happened last week on Friday? Thursday, in fact, but Friday really started it.
No.
No. The start of the quad annual every 4 years, whatever it is. Commonwealth Games.
Quadrennial?
Quadrennial, that's it.
Is that it?
I think it might be.
Okay.
Yes. The Commonwealth Games.
I don't know what that is.
I bet many in the United States do not.
Okay.
The Commonwealth Games is the British Commonwealth equivalent of the Olympic Games.
Oh.
They are friendly games, friendly competition for members of the Commonwealth.
Oh.
Yes, they do not originally in the 30s when it started, it was the British Empire Games. Because at the time, Britain still had an empire.
Yeah.
And then the name changed to the British Commonwealth Games. And then they removed the British. Now it's just the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
Because all the nations that participate, not all the nations that participate, are anymore have the king or queen as their official head of state.
Right.
Such as India. India participates. India is no longer a kingdom.
Right.
And there are a number of other countries as well. There are, I think, 71 countries participating.
Okay.
Of which I think maybe 20 share the same monarch.
Okay. It's so confusing as an American, it's a little confusing to me, and it's not something that we spend a whole lot of time on, to be frank. But what does it mean to be a part of a Commonwealth? Because Pennsylvania is a Commonwealth,
yeah, well,
right? But it's not the same.
Correct. It's not, and it's an umbrella word that was chosen. It could have been union or gang or just whatever. A Commonwealth is a collection of like-minded and similarly minded groups, organizations, or people.
Okay, so it doesn't have necessarily to do with the resources, the sharing of financial resources.
Not anymore. That's correct.
Right, because in Pennsylvania, that's definitely what it is.
Oh, well, certainly, because that is one political entity.
Right, literally Commonwealth.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that is certainly where the word comes from.
Okay.
Yes.
So the Commonwealth that we're talking about, the British Commonwealth, there is no sharing around of any resources in that regard.
No, none whatsoever. What makes it a Commonwealth is the shared history.
The shared history, and probably, and because there are membership has its benefits, right?
It's true. Yes.
There's, even though, you can claim ancestry, but even if you didn't claim ancestry, as a Canadian citizen, you could probably get citizenship in another Commonwealth state a little bit more easily, right?
Well, possibly. There are certainly benefits to it. Many of the benefits go back to England. Many Commonwealth citizens, which is actually a legal term in England, have extra rights should they move to England as a non-citizen. So if I were to move to England as a non-citizen, if I moved there under a work visa or probably more likely an ancestry visa, which I can do, even though I'm not an English citizen, I'd still be allowed to vote in some elections.
Oh, huh.
Being a Commonwealth citizen.
Oh, okay.
And there are other fringe benefits among other members. For instance, Canada and Australia, and I believe New Zealand, as well as England, have reciprocal agreements that if one of those citizens is traveling abroad and needs consular help where they cannot get to the consulate of their primary country, the other ones will help.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so it's like a little extra insurance.
Exactly.
Okay.
It is. And other other nations also have interesting work visas. When we were in Banff last year, we noticed a lot of Australians there.
Yeah.
And that's because for young adults, there are paths to work temporarily but easily in other countries. So a Canadian
neat.
could move, like a 24-year-old Canadian could go to Australia and work.
And it's like geared specifically toward young people.
Primarily, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, membership has its privileges,
Sure. Like Amex.
just like Amex. Yes. Yeah. So the Commonwealth Games started last week. Now I remember as a very young Bonaparte watching them on TV. They were, it was big and very popular.
Are the
in
events
Canada.
the same?
Similar. There are a lot of differences, but there are some the same. I mean, there's track and field. You know, there's a biathlon, a pentathlon, and a decathlon. There's field hockey. Some of the differences are some that are, to me, make sense, such as lawn bowls or lawn bowling.
Oh, sure.
It's a Commonwealth sport. It wouldn't become an Olympic sport by any stretch, but it's certainly popular in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And cricket as well, I believe.
I was
is
just
also
going to
played.
say cricket.
Yes.
But cricket's such a wild game. Like, one cricket match can take literal days.
Yeah, it really can.
Right?
It's nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, they were pretty popular. Canada hosted the Commonwealth Games a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, Edmonton hosted once. I believe Montreal hosted. And I want to say it was elsewhere once, maybe out in the Atlantic provinces. So yeah, it's still big business in Commonwealth countries.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's happening now.
That is happening now.
Okay.
Yes,
And
indeed.
how long does that take?
There's 71 nations. It's not as big as the Olympics, but I think it's still like 8 to 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they do it, I guess, probably off years from the actual Olympics.
Well,
Because we didn't have Summer Olympics.
we had Summer Olympics.
We just had Winter Olympics.
We just had
this year.
Winter Olympics, yeah. So it would be the same years as the Winter Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But, like, obviously not at the same time.
Well, right, exactly.
It being summer.
Or they don't play winter sports in the Commonwealth Games.
Okay. Huh. That's
Yeah.
a choice, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
'Cause most of the Commonwealth nations aren't really northern nations.
Right.
You know, a lot of them are still African.
Like hot weather places.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm thinking Bermuda,
Well,
India.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Okay.
exactly it. No, obvious. One thing that's interesting is the Great Britain nations all take part individually. So there's Wales and Scotland and England and Northern Ireland.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it's neat.
I'm kind of in favor of that.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the three nations that typically overwhelm the others are England, Canada, and Australia. They'll typically be 1, 2, and 3 in some order, and the number of medals won.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, so there
That's
you go.
neat.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that's going on now.
that is going on right now.
I wonder if is there a way we can watch it here this week? Probably. I imagine.
I'm not sure if it's being broadcast or broadcast on cable in the U.S., but CBC Gem does broadcast it on the internet, and that can be watched free of charge with a connection from Canada.
So if you have VPN.
So if you have a
probably
VPN
okay.
where you can connect to Canada,
Yeah.
you can
Do we
watch it
have
that
one?
way. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Of course we do.
Of course we do. That's what I do.
That's right.
Yes. So that's the theme for this week's 3-Tune Tuesday.
The Olympics, or whatever, the thingy, the games, the Commonwealth.
Empire and colonialism.
Empire.
Yes.
Empire.
The British Empire Games. if you go back.
Colonialism. All right,
I
that's
figured you can't have-
loaded.
It is. I figured
Yeah.
you should not discuss the idea of empire without also discussing colonialism.
Quite. Because it's a thorny subject, and people have very strong feelings about it. Very, 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 and understandably so, right?
Oh, definitely.
Because a lot of real shit things happen to people in the name of colonialism.
Right, and you can start with slavery.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean
as
that's
the first one.
that's
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
displacing people of like native people from their land.
Right, the indigenous schools in Canada. You know,
Yeah.
Canada likes to think itself, we we broke off from England peacefully, but it doesn't change the fact that there's still a racist past there.
Right. And I mean, it's the impacts of that are still felt today. I mean, Canada is better than a lot. I'm not going to say even better than most. They're better than a lot in that they really, I have noticed, and maybe I'm holding it up in contrast to the United States, but I have noticed a real, like they put energy into discussing and acknowledging the past.
Right.
And like, yeah, yes, this is a thing. And we acknowledge, like when we went to the Flames game in Calgary at the Saddle Dome, they began the entire thing by acknowledging that we live on land that did not belong to us.
Exactly. It was a nice acknowledgement.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of shallow at this point, but
Sure.
it's it's a gesture that I'm not native, so I don't know if it means anything.
Right.
I don't know if people appreciate that, but I mean, at least it's being acknowledged. Here in the United States, they don't even think about that.
Right. I mean, it's a step toward further understanding, if nothing else.
Well, and if nothing else, it'll start a conversation maybe.
Right. Exactly.
And at least it reminds people that, hey, this was not ours to begin with.
Right.
People had this land and it was taken from them in not great ways.
Precisely.
So, I mean, I appreciate that. And I noticed that at a lot of different places too. Like when we sat down at the Calgary Tower in that little theater
Oh, yeah.
to watch the whatever was going on in there.
Yeah.
There was a little acknowledgement of the tribes that had lived there.
Right.
And, we want to take time to acknowledge the, this, that, and the Métis and,
Right.
all these different, folks that lived here. And, this was theirs before we had it.
Right.
So, yeah. And that's way more than the United States has ever done.
Well, I mean, that can be an entire additional episode.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. But when we think about, like, when I think about colonialism, or I should say colonizing,
Yeah.
that's something that springs to mind. And along with colonizing and along with the colonist history, you cannot divorce slavery from that.
No, absolutely not.
And enslaved people, I mean, literally enslaved people built this country.
Yeah.
The white
Yes.
people sure didn't do it.
No, the white people provided the weapons to do it, to hold the African Americans at bay, to make them do it.
Right.
That was really the white person's
Right.
role.
Like, I'm not saying that white people didn't work hard. They did.
Oh, sure.
But, I mean, as insofar as building this country,
Right. Physically building things.
building this country, and, like, that was mostly done by enslaved people.
Yeah, and once that was done away with, it was performed by marginalized people. I'm thinking of the Chinese that were created so awfully building the railroad.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they were paid, yes, but doesn't mean that they were treated much better than dogs.
Right. And this is so dumb, but it is a testament to his genius. Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles. The opening of Blazing Saddles, when you see all these people working on the railroad, it's black people, but also Chinese people and Irish people.
Right.
And my parents of the year, everybody, I was 10 years old watching Blazing Saddles. And I'm watching this opening scene. And I said to my dad, I said, why are there Chinese people working on the railroad alongside the black? It didn't, and this is such a white thing. It didn't occur to me to ask why were the black people working on the railroad.
Right. Oh, interesting.
It
Right.
was why were the Chinese people working on the rail? And my dad said, oh, well, as it turns out, we weren't just jerks to black people. We were jerks to Chinese people too.
Right.
And they were forced to work long hours under crap conditions for next to no pay.
Right.
And ain't that America,
That's right.
right? And we do it now. And we do it to prisoners as well, like people working in our prison system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We force them to work too for
Right.
nothing.
Right.
It's terrible. So, I mean, and I know that we've gotten kind of way into the weeds with this, but I think that as we talk about empire and colonialism and colonizing, I think that we need to, I think we need to acknowledge that.
Definitely.
It's fraught. it's fraught, and humans are going to human,
Right.
and humans are, in my experience, in my observation, whenever a human being has the chance to get one over on another human being, they're going to do it.
Quite. Yeah. Yeah. And from the lens of, 120 years ago, the music that was recorded had an interesting take on it.
Oh, okay.
Because if you think back 120 years, the early 1900s, particularly during World War One, the Boer War and then World War One, there was a surge in British and English nationalist pride. And, even in the 40s, Winston Churchill was famously known to say that he was not there to preside over the liquidation of the British Empire. Now, he was very much a colonialist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He did a lot of great things, but quite frankly, at the end of the day, he was also racist as well. And we need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. And I think that national pride is also a really slippery slope. Because there's a lot of people that stand behind national pride as sort of a shield for their own bigotry.
Right.
And you see it a lot in the United States, especially these days.
Yeah.
You find these hyper-patriotic folks. And when I see somebody who's being hyper-patriotic, that always makes me, it's kind of like a bombastic side-eye moment for me.
Right.
Because I'm like, are you really that proud of this country? Or are you is this like a white pride thing?
Right, exactly.
Because for a lot of people, that's a convenient, they drape themselves in the American flag. But, are they wearing a KKK robe underneath that?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
What? So, and as an American, I can't help but not see it.
Yeah, I wonder about it as well.
Yeah.
Every time I see and this is not necessarily, the correct thing to do, but every time I see a loud pickup truck with an American flag flying out of the back of it, my first thought is, is that dude going to a rally?
Well, right. And,
Yeah.
I pissed somebody off so much once because, they were talking about, this was a MAGA person. This was somebody that was fully, immersed in the, they drank the orange Kool-Aid, which is the worst Kool-Aid, by the way. But they drank the orange Kool-Aid, and, they were talking about how, they love this country, and that's why they are the way they are, and, going off. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm a patriot, too.
Right.
And I love my country. And I believe none of the shit that you're believing right now. And
Right.
Everything that you're saying right now is, it doesn't land on me. Like, you gotta, it's like, you're talking shit about immigrants. Well, what was it? Jack White. White Stripes did a song. It was Icky Thump.
Yes. Yeah.
Why don't you kick yourself out? You're an immigrant too.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like, come on. Come
Yeah.
on. And also, Eddie Vedder did a song called I'm a Patriot. And I don't like Eddie Vedder, to be clear. But the first two lines of the chorus are I'm a patriot, I love my country. And that's really all you need to know.
Right.
Because I do love this country.
Yeah, it has the potential to really be, a beacon for what is good.
Right. And just because somebody doesn't look like you, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
Just because somebody doesn't look like you or sound like you or believe the things that you believe in doesn't make them love this country any less.
Correct. Case in point, we spoke about this yesterday. I was on a business trip last week. I work for a large company. And, as anti-corporate American as I am, and as much as I, sometimes question why I work for this company, I appreciate the fact that they hire talent based on talent. We were in California. There's me, a Canadian living in the U.S., working with Spaniard living in New York, Mexican living in Toronto, fellow from Pakistani descent living in Montreal, and two fellows from India living in Texas.
Yeah. Like, it's, I think, and that's something that I admire about Canada, is that they take pride in their diversity.
Right.
Generally speaking. Now, listen, there's a couple of assholes in every group.
Absolutely.
Right? But
yeah.
most people in Canada embrace the diversity there. And they don't see it as a threat. They see it as a strength.
Right.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel the same way. You know, I often talk about how long my family has been in this country. And we've been in, at least some of my relatives have been here since 1733. But it doesn't matter. Like, and in the long story of the history of Yulia, there have been several instances of people marrying immigrants in my family.
Right.
And that has made that's part of, to me, that's part of the American story. People coming here. America has enough promise. America has enough opportunity and promise for anybody that wants to come here and be a part of it and contribute to the economy.
Right. Right. Exactly. You know, you mentioned Canada. You know, I'm watching with great interest the debate about immigration that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the general consensus seems to be we don't mind immigration, but we need to watch the numbers. You know, the infrastructure is only so big. There's only, for instance, the housing crisis. You know, there is a housing crisis in
It's a real
Canada and the United States.
Well, everywhere, really,
Right.
these days.
You know,
Yeah.
and adding huge swaths of people to the population makes that worse.
Right.
So from that perspective, if you want to talk about immigration as it's fine, but we need to make sure that the infrastructure is there to support it. Completely different than we don't want immigrants.
Right. Right. It's that, to me, that's a nuanced discussion.
Yes, exactly.
Right. It's not just like they're taking our jobs, you know, but yeah, it's important to have those nuanced discussions. It's important to not blanket say yes or no. You know, it's like
Right.
really carefully think about the different implications and because you're right, Canada economically, like, there's plenty of space in Canada. It's a huge freaking country.
Right. Yeah.
But the economy, the economics part of it is crucial to think about because
exactly.
they've got their own healthcare system. They've got their own tax system. They've got their own. I'm sure they've got their own social support networks.
Yeah.
For people who need to rely on them from time to time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a subject that nobody's saying. Well, I can't say nobody, but at least they're having the nuanced discussion.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know that I can say the same about the United States right now.
No, it really does seem to be, unless they're from South Africa or Western Europe, we don't want them.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, that's just the saddest thing. I mean, my great uncle, as you know, was Eastern European.
Right.
And he loved this country.
Yeah, you have mentioned so many stories. I would have loved to have met him.
Oh, he was such an interesting guy. And he worked his fingers to the bone.
Right.
He was a stonemason.
Yeah. Not easy work.
No. I mean, he built fireplaces and brick walls and stone walls, and like he was a hard worker, and he believed in America.
Right.
I can't add to that.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a nuanced discussion. That's why I was honestly excited about this week's theme. Is there's so much to say.
Well, and I'm interested to, because you said they had a slightly different take on it. So
Right.
I'm interested to hear what you've picked for us.
Right. So we've got 3 songs. We are foregoing our song from this day in history this week.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to tell a story, wanted to tell an arch. And we're going to start with a song that, you know, it is an instrumental, but it is designed to glorify the reach of the British Empire.
Oh, dear.
Okay. It is The Land of Hope and Glory.
Oh, sure.
I mean, part of the show is how did people view the outside world at the time?
And this was from when?
This is from 1909, the recording, but it first appeared in 1901.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
Right.
So, like, firmly Victorian then.
Firmly, right. The
Okay.
British Empire was still fighting to be the land where the sun never set.
Right. Right.
I mean, at the time, Canada, even though it was a nation and a country, was still part of the British Empire.
Right.
You know, it's still very much British. When Great Britain declared war on Germany in 1914, Canada was automatically at war with Germany.
Right.
Because Canada did not have control over its foreign affairs at the time.
Sure. Sure.
So the empire was still large, and, you know, the English were very proud of it.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of your country.
Right.
I want to stress that. There's really nothing wrong with being proud of your country,
Right.
especially in times of conflict. But understand what it is you're fighting for,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's not so much what you're fighting against, it's what you're fighting for.
Sure.
Like flip it on its head. Second World War, the Axis was fighting for something else entirely different.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and they were just as proud. So,
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly. I mean, history is written by the victors, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, like, I think especially in times of conflict, it's important to have pride in your country, but just know what you're fighting for.
Yeah, exactly.
And really scrutinize what it is. What exactly are you fighting
Right.
for?
And, we have been lucky for the most part in the Western world to be able to question why we're doing that.
Yeah. For now.
For now. Right. I mean, I think that really became a movement questioning military decisions when bodies started coming back from Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For
It's like,
sure.
what are we doing over there? What's the benefit to anyone with what we're doing over there?
Right. And hold that up against, that wasn't that long after the Second World War
No,
ended.
it really wasn't.
The country was kind of high on the smell of its own farts for a while.
Right.
And they were like, oh, wow, we're the best country in the world.
Right.
And so we came in there, swinging our dicks around in Vietnam. And it's like, oh, huh.
Right.
And that was, wow. No matter what, I will always support people who decide to put on a uniform and fight for this country.
Yes.
They don't always know what we're fighting for or why sometimes.
Yeah,
And that's not their fault. That's not their fault.
No, it's not.
They signed up to serve their country.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry. This is a heavy episode.
It is.
I'm sorry,
It is.
guys. It's not our usual chuckle fest. Anyway, maybe we should play the song.
Well, we're going to play the song. So this is, and let's scroll back to my notes, Land of Hope and Glory, performed by the Home Guards Band.
Home Guards Band.
Yes, even the name of the band is jingoistic.
Yeah.
Yes. And this was recorded on the Zonophone label in
we've
England. The
talked
British
about those
Zonophone
guys.
label.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Land of Hope and Glory. Now, bear in mind, this was recorded early in the days of music recording, when they may have decided, or out of shellac, just get it done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was a little rough.
It was.
Modern audiences will know that as pomp and circumstance.
Correct.
Played at many graduations.
Absolutely.
I have played that approx 3,823 times.
Wow, you've counted them.
I have.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. So that rendition, and I said this off mic, but I do think it bears repeating, that lead trumpet player sounded like a mosquito. Sounded like a mosquito trapped in a, I don't know.
Trumpet.
Yeah. Unimpressed. Very happy when the other trumpets came in, but it sounded like a mosquito trapped in my ear.
Yeah, I was remarking, off mic that I suspect the other trumpets, when they came in, provided bombastic side-eye to the lead trumpet as well.
Yes. It was a little pitchy, and there were some spots where people there was somebody not quite paying attention to the conductor, because there were some little flammy spots, but I do like what they did with the tempo, which there were places where there was like a rubato, kind of thrown in there every now and again. So it wasn't just like a straight up boring march.
Right.
Typically when you play that, like for a graduation, for example, you don't want it to slow down, because you don't want people to like peter out in the middle of the aisle as they're processing.
Right.
So, but I like what they did there with that, because that provided a little bit of interest. But yeah, it's a beautifully written song.
It is.
Do you have the composer there?
I do. I have got so many notes right now.
Okay.
Let me scroll through them. The composer was Edward Elgar.
Right.
He was born in Worcestershire, however you want to pronounce it, in 1857. Go ahead, correct me.
Elgar.
Worcestershire.
Oh, Worcestershire.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's Worcestershire. But it's Elgar, and Elgar actually wrote. Elgar was an organist as well and wrote many organ pieces.
He did. He also wrote Enigma Variations.
Yes.
The Dream of Gerontius.
Not familiar.
And a cello concerto.
Concerto.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Elgar. Yeah. Famous dude. That's probably Elgar's most famous piece, though.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
Yes.
Neat. Good choice.
And thank you very much. And now I'm going to celebrate with my good choice with a cup of coffee.
Yay. Yes. We love caffeine, and we really love coffee in this house.
We do. It is a morning ritual. It's not just a morning drink, it's a morning ritual in the house.
It's true.
Yes. And it's something that we really enjoy. Now, having been out on business last week, enjoying airline and hotel coffee.
Enjoying is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
It really is. It was really nice to get back home and have a really good cup of coffee in the morning.
And I'll tell you what, Bonaparte, you were so kind to me. You left me a couple of bags of some of the coffee that we've been selling to our curling friends.
I did, yes.
And are those available on the website?
They are. They are available as our curling coffees.
Lovely.
Yes.
I would like to recommend the Hurry Hard.
It's really good.
I enjoyed that.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'd had that before. Wait, you know what? I did. I had it at our Bonspiel, at the 302 Spiel.
Yes.
But it was made in that shitty coffee maker.
Oh, the big, huge vat?
That beast from probably, that coffee maker was probably built the same year that song that we heard.
Very possibly.
That was recorded.
It was a major, huge monster percolator.
And it took an hour
yes.
to brew one container of coffee.
Right. Now, there's nothing wrong with percolators. In fact, we have brew tips on the website about how to use a percolator to get your best cup of coffee.
Fancy.
Yes. But mass-produced coffee like that it's difficult to have it do much more than work.
Oh, but this coffee maker was such a piece of shit.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
So if you're going to listen, on that note, if you're going to go through the trouble of getting good coffee, do yourself a favor. It's an investment, really. And get yourself some decent equipment to make your coffee with.
Indeed.
Now, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. I mean, you can pay as much or as little as you want for, your coffee accoutrement.
Right.
And fortunately for you, dear listener, we have a series of coffee accompaniments, coffee accessories across a wide range of budget and need.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and check that out. And you can go over to skeletonbrew.coffee, which is the best name ever.
Thank you.
And you can go ahead and poke around and see what we have available. We do have some coffee making supplies there for you in addition to our coffee.
Indeed.
Because we want you to experience our coffee as it was meant to be experienced in the best way possible. And when it is well made with good equipment, and you don't need to spend a fortune for it. Listen, we have a little drip coffee maker in the kitchen.
Do. Yes.
I don't think I paid more than $50 for it.
Right.
And it does okay.
Yeah.
It does all right.
Yeah.
Would I love for it to have an insulated carafe? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Right.
But for now, all we need is a timer because
That's
we're not
right.
getting up at 6 a.m. and making coffee.
Exactly. The machine does that on its own for us.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And the good news is at skeletonbrew.coffee, not only will you find all of our regular roasts, we've got 6 regular roasts, and we've got our seasonal Sabbat roasts,
Yes.
which we cycle out according to the wheel of the year. $1 from every item that you purchase from the skeletonbrew.coffee website will go towards public media,
Yes.
which is something that we wholly stand behind and want to support, especially in these weird days
Yes, indeed.
where everything is kind of like, I don't know, it's like the Wild West out there, you guys, and we gotta stand up for the things that we believe in.
Yes.
And we have to stand shoulder to shoulder with people who are doing the work to keep information accessible and uncensored.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So that's why we do what we do at skeletonbrew.coffee. And we pride ourselves on being an ethical brand. We want to make sure that the coffee that we bring to you is ethically sourced. And it is. We source our beans along with a co-op. We get our beans from all over the place, and we make sure that the people who are growing these beans and harvesting them are paid a fair wage.
Absolutely. It's important to us.
It is. And from there, once we get the beans, we have a small coffee roaster that does our roasts for us.
Yes.
So when you order Skeleton Brew coffee, you are getting, it is not roasted until you place the order. So you are getting a really freaking fresh bag of coffee.
Yeah.
The beans are sitting green in storage, and they roast them when you make your order, and they will arrive to your doorstep within days. And when I tell you, you will open your front door and you will smell coffee, I am not kidding.
And it is a glorious smell.
It really
truly
is.
Yes.
It's kind of like, it's a nice thing that you can do to treat yourself. If you are a coffee lover, this coffee is for you.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that. And we taste test everything that we sell. We wouldn't try to sell you something gross.
Yeah, and we will put our money where our mouth is on this. If you would like to try before you buy, head on over to our websites, either at skeletonbrew.coffee or blindskeleton.one. That's blindskeleton.one. Sign up for our mailing list, and we will get in touch with you to send you a 2-ounce sample of our ground coffee.
Yes, and there is no obligation, and we will not do anything weird with your personal information.
Right.
And if you need a little bit of assistance choosing a coffee, we also have a little quiz on the website.
We do indeed.
That you can fill out, and we can recommend you a roast of coffee that we think that you will enjoy.
Yes, and just like everything else we do, the quiz is free. It's anonymous. You do not need to submit your email address, name, children's names, social security number, or anything of the sort. You just take the quiz. It will give you a suggestion as to what it believes your best roast will be, and it'll just make that suggestion. You can go on your way.
That's great.
Yes.
I love that. And if you are feeling extra anti-empire, extra double middles, you can also head over to our nokings.coffee website, where all of the above applies, except we have 3 special roasts there: the Liberté, the Égalité, and the Fraternité.
Indeed.
And we also have some fun little anti-fascist things for you to peruse there.
Yes, indeed.
And $2 from every item that you purchase on our nokings.coffee website will go to support Indivisible.
That is correct.
Who is doing the yeoman's work
Yep.
in terms of organizing people and informing people and making sure that if you are of a like mind and you are double middles to everything going on right now, they help educate people on how to protest safely and effectively.
Right.
They also organize protests. They've got good advice there for what to do if you are approached.
Yes.
It's actually a great website, and I highly recommend it. And we do also have, I'm sure we've got a link to Indivisible on our No Kings website.
We do.
But we also have some links to other good information.
We do. And we have also recently stood up a newsreader that collects important news feeds from a number of news locations.
You put together an aggregator?
I did.
You clever bastard.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
that's news to me.
It is news because it is new. Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So head on over to blindskeleton.one for other stuff. We'll talk about that briefly later.
Yep.
Because we're already running really long.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in our coffee, go to skeletonbrew.coffee and nokings.coffee and check out what we have. And if you have any questions, our contact information is there too. Please reach out. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Indeed. So moving on to our second song. We have spoken first song about the reach of empire or the glory of empire. And now we've got another that celebrates the empire. But the interesting part of this song is it is written and performed by a Scot.
Oh.
Okay, so there's some meta fun going on here.
Okay.
Now, this was written in 1915, so this is World War I, and everyone was patriotic, particularly the Scots. There is a story about World War I of an entire battalion of Scotch infantrymen stripping themselves naked, painting themselves blue, picking up their weapons, and yelling and charging at the Germans who were so panicked by the sight they fled.
I mean,
it's a very Scot thing to do.
Seems legit.
It really does. It's a very Scot thing to do. So they were very proud as well of what they were doing. And this song kind of, I don't want to say celebrates the empire, but comes kind of close to it. It's written from the perspective of a Scottish soldier serving away from home, and he's telling his mother not to worry. His surroundings remind him of Scotland because he encounters Scottish soldiers, tartans, familiar tunes, and regimental comradeship.
Oh.
Okay. It is entitled, it's just like being at Hame. H-A-M-E.
Hame,
Yes. Written and performed by Sir Harry Lauder.
We've talked about him before.
We have. It's a comedy song mostly, but it's also it really burrows into wherever we go. It's home because it's the empire.
Well, kind of, but also like I don't know. I haven't heard the song yet, so I should probably reserve judgment. But home is where you hang your hat, and from the perspective of this soldier, in this song, I imagine that probably it feels like home more because of the people.
There's definitely a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard the song yet,
Right.
so maybe we should just listen to the freaking thing.
We'll listen to the song.
Okay.
Okay.
A Highland regiment was forced to go to a distant land across the foam, whilst the poor old mother with a heavy heart waited anxiously at home. Soon her sad face turned into a smiling one when a letter came across the sea. For it said, don't cry, or don't you sigh, I'm as happy as can be. There's a piper playing in the morning, and all good tunes to find. There's a tartan lady buckled on each laddie, it's just like old lang syne. I can hear them praising bonny Scotland, bonny Scotland fame. So don't sigh, dear, I'm more right here. Oh, it's just like being a tame. The flag was planted neath the scorching sun, where the white man's rule will ever reign. And the brave Scots soldiers who had fought and won were returning home again. And the Highland mother watched the passing ranks for the face of one she loved to dear. And in frenzied joy she kissed her boy as he whispered in her ear. There's a piper playing in the morning, and all good tunes to find. There's a tartan lady buckled on each laddie, it's just like old lang syne. I can hear them praising bonny Scotland, bonny Scotland fame. So don't sigh, dear, I'm all right here. It's just like being a tame. There's a piper playing in the morning, and all good tunes they find. There's a tartan lady buckled on his laddie, it's just like old lang syne. I can hear them praising bonny Scotland, bonny Scotland fame. So don't sigh, dear, I'm all right here. It's just like being a tame.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little icky.
yeah, it is, but it's, that's part of what we do here as well as, we like to look at what the people at the time were thinking, what they were viewing, what they viewed as important.
Well, apparently what they viewed as important was white man ruling over everybody.
Well, that was a large part of the British Empire.
Yeah.
It really, really was. I mean, we spoke about it at the top of the episode. You can't really talk about empire and colonialism without talking about slavery.
Yeah.
And that goes hand in hand with kind of a couple of verses in that song.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. So who wrote that, please?
That was written by Harry Lauder, and
Oh, he wrote it in
he-
addition to performing it.
he was one of the writers.
Okay.
Written by Harry Lauder and William Hargreaves.
William Hargreaves. I think William Hargreaves was a hymn writer, which would explain why it sounded like a hymn.
That would make sense.
Hargreaves.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that William Hargreaves was actually a composer of hymns.
That would make sense.
I could be wrong.
That would give it the right sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what label was this on?
That was also on the Zonophone label.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it was well performed anyway. Let's look at the positives.
Right.
The band sounded good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a well put together song, and, hand in hand with, histories written by the victors. You could say about something at the time as well, propaganda is written by those in power.
Well, it's true. You know, whoever has the money has the microphone.
Right.
Right. And that's as ever.
Yeah.
It's always been the case, and it probably always will be unless we fight.
Unless we
Otherwise.
fight for it. Right.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that we do like to do at Blind Skeleton is not just celebrate vintage media, which we do, and vintage entertainment, but also discuss the cultural aspect of it. You know, we do. I like to think that we do a lot of that in this podcast. You know, we like to discuss things that are happening today, you know, and relate to it that a lot of what happens today are things that people were concerned about 100 years ago.
It's true. It's true. The things that human beings care about don't change too much.
Right.
You know, over the long arc of history, and, you know, kept records of human beings and what was important to them. It hasn't really changed all that much, good, bad, or otherwise.
Right.
And that's part of why we do what we do is because we want to know not just what happened, but why.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where the arts step in, and that's what vintage media and vintage entertainment. That's where that steps in. We can kind of step into these people's shoes, and with an understanding of, you know, historically, factually, what was going on at the time, we can also get an idea of how they were feeling about it.
Right.
And I think that that's important. It's important that we can. It's important so that we can relate to it, but also so that we can see maybe where we can adjust our own thinking today.
Exactly.
And, you know, we should be striving for a more just society for everybody. And that's part of doing that is understanding where we came from, how we got here.
Oh, yeah.
And how we can, you know, they say the long arc of time bends towards justice. And we can help that.
Yes, we can.
We can assist that arc. You know, if we look back and we understand, and it's not something that we want to shy away from either. You know, there's a lot of uncomfortable history that I think deserves a second look, and a third look, and a fourth look. And, you know, rather than trying to cover it up, Trump. Rather than try to cover up the ugly history of who we are and where we came from, we need to look at it.
Right.
And we need to look at it for what it was, and we need to be critical of it. We can't shy away from the things that paint us in a bad light if we did bad shit.
Right.
And this is a great example of that.
It is. It really is.
Right? So part of growth is being self-aware and self-reflective, and, you know, not repeating the same dumb shit we did before.
Right. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Right. Right. Yeah, so, for more, you know, go check us out at blindskeleton.one. That is blindskeleton.one. We've got, you know, a variety of fun information, fun things, blog articles, news, and everything that celebrates vintage entertainment from a cultural perspective.
Yeah, it's a neat place because we like to dive into all the old stuff.
Yeah.
And not just and trust, it's not just heavy stuff. Like we talk about the stuff when it comes up, because it will inevitably come up. If you're looking at as much art and things that people were making art about the things that were important to them.
Yeah.
And some of it was dumb, and some of it was uncomfortable, and some of it was really misguided and misplaced. Right. But we look at it all, but we also are entertained by it. Like, we love watching a Harold Lloyd silent film.
Right.
We love listening to Billy Murray.
Yes.
We love being entertained and moved. You know, we've watched incredibly moving silent films.
We have.
And we've watched funny things, and we've watched thought-provoking things, and things that made us question and want to dig down more.
Right.
So that's what we do. It's something that fascinates us. And if you are of a like mind, or even if you're just curious about it, go ahead and head on over to the website and see what we're doing.
Indeed.
We've got some silent films up there for you to watch. We've got blog posts. We've got vintage photography for you to take a look at. It's a little bit of something for everybody.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said before, if you sign up for our mailing list, which You don't have to worry about us spamming you because I don't think we've done a single freaking newsletter.
It is on a to-do list.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But you will still get your free coffee.
You will indeed. Yes.
You'll get a free 2-ounce sample of one of our 6 regular roasts, and that's enough for one 12-cup pot of drip coffee.
Yes.
And it's delicious. And that's a great, no obligation way to try before you buy.
Exactly. And we are sure that you'll love it.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and you can also reach out to us. All of our contact information there. We are not heavily presenced on social media, but we do have Blue Sky.
We do.
Which we do love. And we've got our email addresses there. And we also have our phone number, which is not posted, but I will give it to you now because I'm desperate for somebody to call us. 302-609-1925. We will not pick up the phone, we promise. But give us a call, leave us a voicemail.
Yep.
Tell us where you're listening from. You can give us any old name you want. We don't use our real names, so you don't have to either.
Correct.
Tell us where you're listening from and, tell us what you like. Tell us what we could be doing better. Or, if you have a show suggestion, let us know. And we will happily do a deep dive on anything your little heart desires, within reason.
Within reason, but I'm hoping somebody out there, one of the 13 of you who are listening, will pick that up as a challenge and say, let me stump them. I would love the challenge.
Yeah, throw us a curveball.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be entertaining.
Yeah. So moving on to our third song of the day, we have spoken about the growth of empire and the glory of empire, and now we're going to play a song from the perspective of the colonized.
I like it.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say, and now the fall of the empire.
No, this is not the fall. I cannot think of one English song celebrating the fall of the empire. But I was able to find an Irish song questioning it.
Okay.
This is the Foggy Dew.
The Foggy Dew. D-E-W.
D-E-W.
Okay. Dew.
Dew. The Foggy Dew was written about the 1916 rebellion in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in the middle of World War I, poor England suddenly had two fronts, so to speak, because now they had all of these miscreants in Ireland stepping up, demanding some of their own liberty and independence.
Good for them.
Right. It's part of colonialism. Really, the discussion needs to also include, what about those colonialized? What happens to them?
Yeah.
And not just what happens to them, from their perspective, what's happening to them.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And so even if we want to advance the era of the golden age of colonialism from the 17th and 18th centuries to the early 20th century, where slavery is perhaps not as prevalent, there is still the question of, what about my liberty? I mean, there have been so many nations that have fought for their freedom, and, here in the United States, we like to really glorify the revolution.
Mm-hmm. Romanticize it.
Romanticize it. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But what about Ireland? Did we romanticize that? We kind of vilified it.
Yeah.
And
It depends who you talk to.
Right, exactly. Italy went through long periods where they were bounced between empires and kingdoms.
Oh, and they bear the scars of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, even today, politically, socially, psychologically, that society bears the scars of that.
Right. And I don't think any of us would look at Italy and say that, they're a bunch of savages like the Africans are. And I say that with heavy, heavy air quotes. Or Ireland for that matter. We wouldn't look at them anymore and look down our nose at them. Granted, in the late 19th century, we certainly did. No Irish need apply, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. There are some folks there are some folks that do feel that way about the Irish.
Well,
There are some folks that do feel that way about, human beings are so freaking dumb, man. We are so ready to other people.
right.
You don't look like us, you don't talk like us, therefore you must be substandard, subhuman.
Yeah.
I'm better than you
Yeah,
because
you're
and
different, therefore inferior.
it's dumb.
Yes,
People are so freaking stupid.
right.
Sorry, I derailed you.
No, it's good. I'm trying to form my thoughts here because I've got so much to say. The idea of social Darwinism goes back to Darwin.
Yeah.
No, Darwin did not promote it. No, he absolutely did not. It was promoted by the colonizers, the survival of the fittest.
Well, and now we're talking eugenics.
We're talking eugenics, but I mean, we could go on. I mean, there have been so many books written on this. It's not survival of the fittest. Darwin never coined that phrase. He argued that species survive based on their ability to change to circumstance.
Right. Well, and two, selecting for different characteristics.
Exactly.
You
Exactly. So the idea of that was easily taken to be all survival of the fittest.
Yeah, no.
We've got more guns than them, therefore we're more right than they are.
We're fitter.
Right. And that where I was stumbling before was what that ignores is the art and cultures of the other peoples, the people being colonized. I dare anybody to look at any of the groups, the ethnic groups in Africa, and say that they don't produce beautiful art.
Well, not just beautiful art, but they invented freaking vaccines.
Right.
Like let's
Right.
let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just oh shit. God, sorry, I lost my microphone. I got animated. But like people, just because they don't look like you doesn't mean that they're not smart.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Like, yeah, African people on the continent of Africa invented things like vaccines.
Right.
And they invented a lot of the musical instruments that are the basis of what we play today.
All of it that I can think of.
All of it.
Yes.
Like violins, banjos.
Right. Rhythm and blues.
I mean, I could go on.
Right.
And then, if you want to hop on over to North America, look at the Native Americans. They invented agriculture.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
They knew the cycles of nature, and they knew how to grow stuff, and they knew how to survive.
Right. The Chinese invented gunpowder and paper. Something that we take for granted, but paper gave us the ability to really spread culture and knowledge.
I mean, like, oh God, human beings are both brilliant and like so freaking dumb.
All at the same time.
How do we do that? How did we make it this far? maybe this is an extinction burst.
Maybe.
But anyway, like, yeah, it's we're so quick to other people.
Right.
It's really a shame.
It is. So The Foggy Dew is written from the perspective of the Irish.
Good.
As they're fighting the English in 1916.
Good.
This is performed by Carl Fleisch and Harry Kaufman, arranged by Arthur Alexander in 1924 on the Edison label.
Wait. Who performed it?
Carl Fleisch.
And?
He played violin.
Carl Fleisch, F-L-E-I...
F-L-E-S-C-H.
Okay, and who else?
Accompanied by Harry Kaufman on piano.
I was going to say, a song about the Irish performed by a couple of Jewish guys. That's
I know,
amazing.
I know. It's
I love
awesome.
it.
It's awesome. I don't know exactly who wrote it, but it does go back to 1916 to talk about the Irish in 1916.
Okay, and which label, please?
Edison.
Edison. Okay. That was beautiful.
It was. Fun fact, that song does have lyrics to go with it.
It's going to be my next question.
And it was performed also by Sinead O'Connor.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Listen, may she rest in peace
Right.
and power, because she was a badass.
Yes, she was.
Love Sinead O'Connor.
Yes. So yeah, I'll be sure to get the lyrics put up on the show notes as well.
Yes, please. And what I really liked about it from a musical perspective is that musicians will note as they listen to it, it bounced back and forth between major and relative minor. So, and that it wasn't a key change. It was relative minor. Every major key has a relative minor. And like, for example, C major, in other words, all the white keys on the keyboard. If you play a C major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and you start on C and you play all the white keys, you'll have your C major scale. Its relative minor is A minor, which means if you play all the white keys starting on A, you will have an A minor scale.
Okay.
So that's why it sounded like it was bouncing back and forth between optimism and sorrow.
Right.
Optimism and sorrow. And they did it seamlessly by writing the music, chording the music between its major key and relative minor.
Fascinating.
And I thought that was very clever.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand the musical aspects of it, but when you mention how it bounces back between optimism and sorrow, that definitely came through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were, like, as I listened to it, and I will be interested to see the lyrics. There were like times of like sort of sweetness and also some deep sorrow.
Right.
Because, I mean, as you're fighting for the things that you believe in, yes, it's the same. There's times of great optimism, but there's also a lot of loss that comes along with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't forget that, as we fight for the things that we believe in, that there's oftentimes a real human cost.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I thought that song did a really great job capturing that.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, and the piano part, like, the pianist did what a good accompanist is supposed to do. And I know I've said this before. A good accompanist is like a great bra.
Right.
It lifts and supports.
Exactly. But it's not the centerpiece.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was a beautifully written accompaniment too. It was I found myself just as transfixed listening to the accompaniment as I did to the violinist, who was obviously playing the melody, playing the part that would have been sung, but the piano part was equally as beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I really did.
Really, really pretty. Nice
Yes.
choice.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
like finally, right?
Yeah.
We ran long this week.
We
And
did.
And I'm sorry, guys. I got really emotional and I kind of went off, and I do apologize for that.
Yeah,
but it's important. To
It
me.
is. It's important. A lot of the things that we talk about in this podcast, we do like to be relevant and important. Sometimes we just want to have fun, but sometimes there's important things to say.
Yeah, and I'd be lying if I said that a lot of this stuff was not weighing very heavily on me lately.
Right.
And I'm a little touchy lately when it comes to that kind of thing. So I do get emotional,
Right.
and I do get wordy. So apologies.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
It can be a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening in. We know we ran long, but we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we will talk to you again next week.
And don't forget, if you have something to say about this episode, we want to hear your feedback.
Yes, we do.
If you have, listen, I talked enough. So if you have feedback, let us know.
Indeed.
Talk to us. This is a subject. This is not a one-sided conversation. It's not even a two-sided conversation. We want you to be part of the conversation
Yes.
too. So get in touch with us. Leave us a voicemail. Write to us. Whatever. Reach out on social media. Please talk to us. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So you want to sign off now?
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.